All right. Well, I am live again. Thank you so much for coming. Um, you may not be redirected from my other video, and I hope people can find me. Please go to my channel. I'm just typing on the other video that I just did. So I had an interesting issue with the audio, unfortunately, previously. So I've had to restart my live video. I'm hoping that people do find me here. So if you're finding me here, Muriel Hanson, thank you so much for coming. I'm hoping others come along. Dottie, you can hear me. I love it. Thank you so much. Good morning, Catherine. I just did a video where I showed how to draft a pattern and make a large bowl cozy, which I thought was a lot of fun, based upon some of the other bowl cozies that you could make. Lucy, yes, you could hear me in the other video, and then I tried to fix the audio to take my headphones out, and it just disappeared. So I've restarted it. Hopefully people do find me here, although you can't restart the same live, which is weird. So either way, we'll see if we get people on here. Good morning, everyone. Today, because it is literally November, and we are getting right into the Thanksgiving swing, and some people have completely overshot the runway and they're right into Christmas. I am deciding to talk to you about some kind of gifts that you can make for Christmas. And I will add into the description of this video, once we get off, a link to all of these projects that I'm going to show you, things that I've made in the past. So I will add links for all of that. And my goal is to show you some of the things that I'm working on for Christmas gifts, but also some of the things that I've done on the channel before that might make great Christmas gifts for you. Share Bear, thanks for coming over here. It just got really confusing. I probably should have just from the beginning used the audio from my computer rather than trying to use it on my headphones. So there we go. So the first thing I want to talk about are bowl cozies, obviously. And you've seen in the last two videos that I've made, you've seen bowl cozies that I've made. So these are great gifts. I'm getting over a really weird dry cough. I'm feeling okay, though. These bowl cozies, I like this one in particular. Now, it uses forms that I ordered on online, which are fine, but you can also order a template that you could cut out of your own batting or whatever you choose. But what I dislike about the other versions is that you had to turn these. You had to basically sew them and flip them inside out. This one uses a binding material. And I just made this bias binding myself. So this is it's a large one, though. It's a pretty big bowl. I mean, it kind of makes a decent hat as well. Maybe not. Maybe I like I'd rather feel like a turtle. So I think I'll do the other one. Maybe a little bigger would be, anyway, I'm done playing. And then I made the bigger one that I showed you. The great part about this is that if you decided to make this out of the same materials as several other gifts, you can actually make a sort of a suite of gifts that you could give to somebody. This one might work better as a hat. No, it's still not very attractive. The reason I say that is you may remember, if you've been on this channel for very long, that I have made a number of projects out of pre-made quilts. So a lot of times you'll see projects where people say, well, you make a quilt sandwich of some fabric and then you turn it into a project. And I love the idea of shortcutting that, buying pre-made quilts, like let's say pre-made quilts, and then using those. Now, it needs to be really clearly stated for every single thing. If any of the items that you're making are going to be in a high heat situation, like you think someone might put the bowl cozy into the microwave, which they really don't need to do, but if they're going to, well, if they're going to put anything in the microwave, then you need to make sure whatever you use is 100% cotton, nothing polyester, because it's going to melt. Or it's going to be in a high heat situation. Like I would not make I would probably never make a curling iron holder out of something polyester. I should say I would never make it again. I actually have made a video about that, and I put a huge disclaimer in it after I made the video, because I realized, oh, curling irons get really hot and people don't wait till they cool down to put them back in the carrier. I thought everyone knew to let that stuff cool down, but they don't. You did see. Previously, I did make the this cute bag out of fabric. That's a gift bag, look like a Christmas tree. It's reversible. That's a previous video I just did, and this would be a cute way to add to the gifts that you're giving. And somebody actually made a great idea. They said you could actually embroider someone's name here, and it would be the gift tag for the bag. I don't embroider anything, so I'm not doing that. But if you want to do it, go right for it. I also, getting back onto I should talk more about the pre-made quilt idea because I really love that. I did just buy a new quilt set off of Amazon. This very pretty fabric. I did this because I want to make some little more what I think of contemporary items. Most of the fabrics I've used in the past have been this particular quilt that I bought from Walmart. Now, this is a toaster cover that I made. And in fact, the way I made it, it is reversible. This video is several years old, but I did teach how we can make covers for almost any appliance in your kitchen. This would be really great. If you found a fabric that people would really like, that someone would like, and you make something for them and they go, oh, I love that fabric. Well, then you just keep the fabric and go make more stuff out of the same particular fabric. And that would be really great. So, oh, and this message is for Greg, who's watching. If YouTube and Apple got along, then YouTube would be able to allow you to change your audio in the middle of a stream, a live stream, and they don't allow you to do that. So YouTube and Apple do not like each other. Anyway, that's one item made out of that fabric. I did another item. See, here's the other part. If people really like that, then you could also make cushion covers or pillows. This pillow is made in a very convoluted way. I'll link the video in the description below once this video is archived and ready to go out. I don't have it in there right now, but you'll be surprised to see how completely over intense it was to make this with this particular edge on the side. Don't do it. All right. Also, I made a casserole carrier out of that same fabric. I should have brought a casserole dish to go in this because it basically folds. It folds in, and then you have handles to carry your casserole. I won a ribbon at the county fair with this casserole carrier, which is great. Lucy, I understand I froze on you twice so far. That could be my computer, or it could be yours. So I can't control what Comcast in my area is doing with my computer internet service right now. So we will work our way through it. Casserole carrier is a lot of fun. I made this in an hour, although I will tell you, like, I'd made it before, so it might take you a little longer. And you know what? You never have to make something as fast as I particularly make it. So you have all those things that go together. Now, one of the other things I love to make items out of is pre-made placemats, because they're almost always the same size and you can make really cool stuff out of pre-made placemats. So this is a casserole carrier made out of two placemats from Pioneer Woman. And you can see where I just literally folded the edges in to get a fun angle. And the only problem with this is I don't carry really super hot things in this because, again, this is not 100% cotton. So I kind of wait until things have somewhat cooled where they're warm but not hot right out of the oven. Although I will tell you, someone did once put something super hot out of the oven in here and it didn't cause a problem. But it's also great for a cake or something else. It literally just closes up and makes a really great carrier. And this one's super easy. It's two placemats. Now, those placemats used to be about $4 each. They're probably way more expensive now. But you can get other placemats. So this is some placemats I bought off of Amazon. This one happens to be 100% cotton. And so this one's safe, absolutely safe to use. You could use either side if you wanted because it's nice and reversible. I like this a lot. And I think 6 of them came in the pack. I don't remember how much they were, but it wasn't more than like $20 or something. I also, and I'll put a link in the description as well for this one that was a whole lot of fun, which was a placemat, a Pioneer Woman placemat turned into this nice zippered bag. And here's one of the fun things I did with that video is I made the zipper pulls a different color than the zipper because I was using zipper by the foot. Then on the inside, I use a nylon pack cloth to make this really great for like bathroom sort of toiletry type stuff. But look how pretty that bag is when it's finished. I mean, it feels almost like a really nice clutch. You know, I mean, don't put it under your arm if you don't have to. But yeah, I really enjoyed making that one. That's one of the ones I was super like, I finished making this and I was like, oh my gosh. And I've had so many people tell me how much they like this particular one. So I haven't quite gifted anyone yet because I'm like, there's like 5 people that all want it, and I'm like, I don't know who to give it to, and I can't find any more of these placemats, so making more of them would be difficult. But I think you could find some really pretty fabric. You could make the fabric if you wanted, but I liked being able to just shortcut it with something that already existed. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments what gifts you're making for Christmas this year, things that you might be working on. I have a couple others that I'm working on, and I'll show you things from the past. This is a mug rug. And I have to tell you, this mug rug this mug rug sits on a side table at my house, and I spilled something on it the other day. So it's kind of, and it was going to go in the wash. And it was literally slated for the wash. And then I realized that, oh, I need to do this video. So this mug rug doesn't look as good, but it's made out of that same fabric as the pillow and everything else. So you can make matching mug rugs as well for people, a whole suite of things that you can make. Specifically, also, you can use pre-made fabric and make these other little zippered bags and stuff. This is one of the diagonal zipper bags. Now, I made this back when their first, I think it was the Hemingway pouch first came out. Now, I hadn't bought their pattern, even though, I bought their pattern, but didn't use their pattern, because watching their video they used when they made this, there was a few things I didn't love. And so I changed a couple things on my version of it. But I still encourage you to go buy their pattern because it's actually really nice. And I'll show you how to make your own fabric as well. But this is just from a pre-made quilt that I bought. And you could easily turn out these in many different sizes. I think they're really good for like an iPad carrier. This one's more like a cell phone size, like here's my cell phone, which wouldn't quite exactly fit, but it's the smaller one I used to have fit in here perfectly fine. Now, I have done a couple of really lovely things out of like origami or simple single fabric. You could do this out of a pre-made quilt and simply either bind the edge or put a lining fabric and turn it inside out. This is one of my favorites. This is a basket made out of a single square of fabric. One of the things I love about this basket is as you fold it up, you naturally are going to get these little pieces right here that have to go somewhere. And a lot of people will put these on the outside and then stitch them closed, which you could certainly do. They would just stitch them, flatten them and stitch them. But I like the idea of leaving them open because they now become really great things to put stuff into. And so this sits on our counter in the in our main bathroom, and it has like all of the little pieces and parts and things you need to keep your face and hair follicles and other stuff beautiful. So usually there's nail clippers here, and there's like some eyebrow brushes and stuff in here, and then there's like tweezers, and in the inside is all the other stuff you might put on your face or put around, or eye cream or whatever the other stuff that clearly I'm not using enough. But Brad cares very much about his appearance, and I appreciate that because makes them look nice. And more importantly, makes them feel good. So I like doing that. Oh, Share Bear's making jar openers. Yes, I almost brought one of those because I have one that's in this same, that same fabric, but but I forgot to grab it as I was leaving. And I thought, I got in the car and went, I should have brought one of those. So I'm glad you're making them. And you get a roll from the dollar store. Perfect. Yes. And there is a video on my channel for that. So, I'm sure you have a good version that you use as well. I did make a version on my channel for people who might need that. So I am live. I love that. It's like, well, there's a live. I'm like, yeah, I am live. I'm going to go to the other live video that I messed up, and I'm going to go ahead and copy all of the, it's not going to work. I was going to copy all the details so I could put it here for you. And I might figure out how to do that while we're chatting. So I'm hoping anyone can give me some other ideas of things that you might be doing for Christmas. What if well, you know what? I haven't shown you some of the quilt stuff that I'm doing because that would be a lot of fun. I am going to go to the edit, and in the description, I'm going to paste the description. So if you go to the description of this video, you should be able to find it. Norma says gifts will be knitted items, and then I'm going to sew project bags to gift them in. What a great idea. I did pick up knitting at one point, which is why I have several sizes of knitting needles here. Although I will tell you, in the last 5 years, I've only ever used these two as point turners, although I love doing it. I really enjoyed knitting quite a lot, but my problem is I have difficulty with the with getting the tension right. Like I feel really bad about that. I'm like, I should be able to figure this out. And I don't. I just it gets a little wonky. Doris says, welcome from the ice cream capital of the world. Well, it's interesting, Doris. You have to tell us, where is the ice cream capital of the world? Because I kind of want to go there. It sounds like a magical place. And I'd love to be there right now, actually. Okay, well, Doris tells us where the ice cream capital of the world is. I'm going to tell you, one of my favorite gifts to give people is a DOP kit. Now, DOP actually stands for the name of the man who sort of invented this particular type bag. But I have this video on my channel, and it's in the description of this video as well if you want to watch it. I love the idea of finding a fabric that someone will really love, maybe a novelty fabric that has like their favorite, cartoon character or some scene that they would like, something very specific to them, and you can turn this into that particular thing. And this is one of the ones that's easier to do. I did use a nylon pack cloth lining. You can find that not super easy, but it's not necessarily difficult to find. You can use various materials. In fact, I think one of my favorite things to use for a waterproof lining is when you get one of those shopping bags for the store, one of those reusable ones that is like a coated material, not just the ones that are clearly fluid could go through, but one of the coated ones. Invariably at some point the handles rip. At least they do on me, because I tend to overload them. And so if that's the case, my suggestion is you keep the fabric. You don't throw the fabric away. So you can easily save that fabric and then use it for stuff like this. And the only thing I would do differently for this one is I would do two things differently. Number one, I would add a handle like this. Even though it's common to only have one handle, I would add a handle like this to both sides. Secondly, I only put one zipper pull, and I really wish I had two zipper pulls on here. That way you can open it from either side. It just makes a lot more sense. So I really wish I had done that. But this is Brad's DOP kit, and he absolutely loves it. He was so excited to get it, and he carries it every time we go on a trip. Anytime he has to go on a trip for work or somewhere else, he carries it. And the nice thing is by these little tabs, which are really meant to just make it easier for you to pull the zipper, these tabs are actually kind of open. I didn't fold them. I didn't sew them shut. So you can actually put sort of a hook in them, and that can hook on top of something. That's also the link to that one's in the description below. And that's the easier of the two versions that I taught on the channel. In fact, I may have started another one. Mona, hi. Sheila says, I can't find the Pioneer Woman placemats anymore. I know, isn't it terrible? Like these were my favorite, and I have like 3 or 4 left, and I'm like guarding them because I don't know what I want to make. Because I want to make something super amazing, spectacular. But I also don't necessarily want to do a video for the channel because I don't want to do something that you can't replicate. Like part of the point of my channel is to make stuff that you go, oh, Tim just made that. I know I can make that having watched his video. I want to go make it right now. And if that's the case, I need to make stuff that you can get. I'm going to show you something super quick that is just like that, because I wanted people to be able to make this bag if they wanted to. If they got, I have a bunch of stuff in this bag. If they watched my video and wanted to make this huge tote bag, I wanted you to be able to, which is exactly why I went to Walmart to buy that fabric. I was also at the time when, Joann's was leaving and we wanted to show off. So I wanted to show off what else was out there. Not that Walmart has the greatest selection of anything at the moment, but they at least had these prepackaged fabrics. I wanted to show you what could be done. Doris says, Lamar's, Iowa is the ice cream capital of the world. Yes. So listen, I come to Iowa every couple of years because of Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect who died in 1959. So I'm not coming to visit him, but he has a number of sites in a couple of them across Iowa. So next time I'm there, I'm adding Lamar's, Iowa to my list. I hope that means they have ice cream there, Doris. If there's not ice cream there and it's the ice cream capital, it's going to be a problem. Let's see. Donna, market bags in their own pouch. That's so nice. What are prosperity hens? I'm fascinated to hear what prosperity hens are. Cosmetic bags, of course. The drawstring tree bags. I love those. I think they're so cute. I want them big. I think actually the one I made may not be big enough. Table runners, perfect. Fabric card holders for the elderly and bowl cozies. Wow, that's a good list of stuff that you're making. Oh, good plan. Mona says I've been shopping thrift stores for quilted pillow shams for bags. Great idea, because even when I buy a pre-made quilt, some of them do come with shams. And so I'm pointing at ones that are off screen. That's why I'm pointing that way, like you can see it. And then what do you do with the shams? I made a couple pillowcases out of them, but what do you do? Perfect idea. So good. Actually, my next video, I'm going to teach you how to make covers for composition notebooks. And so I'm excited about that. Now, it's not new. Plenty of people have made them, but I'm going to show you a few shortcuts of things that I am particularly fond of. And not so that those of you who watch me all the time, and I so appreciate it. You do not know how much I appreciate that I can come on here every Saturday and there's at least 40 or 50 people hanging out. And then even for lives like this, I get 50 something people watching. One of the things that I know is that you watch me make certain things and then I don't always do a follow-up video. I want to promise you, I am working on those. I am working on it. It took me a year, more than a year, to make the kite from that quilt shop video that I had. But I did make it a couple weeks ago. Thank you so much. I did a couple months ago show you how to make Manx blocks, which is like an easier version of a log cabin, right? And I love these so much. And these are going to be made into a quilt for someone in my life. But I'm not going to show you the final video of how to put all these together. And this is just one stack of the blocks that I put together. You'll notice they have batting in them already. So the nice part is when I go to put these together, they're like done. I don't have to do a whole lot. I don't have to bat them. I don't necessarily even have to quilt them once they sew together. The thing is, I don't want to put that video out before I give the gift, which hopefully will be a Christmas gift. And so the video will come after I finish the gift. Also, I still have that beautiful quilt that the Market Square quilt, but that quilt is for me, so it's not really a big Christmas thing. So I'm not rushing to get it done. So, who knows when that one will get done, hopefully by January, February. And I'm definitely making some more of these, but just out of different fabrics. Now, this is fun. I want to show you real quick. This is that bowl cozy that I just made. And you'll see it's a little flimsy, which is okay because I did show in the video that you could fold the edges in for a smaller bowl. But this is made with the exact same type of fabrics. The difference is this has 2 layers of that iron-in batting material. This only has 1. So you'll see this is quite sturdy. And this is a little more floppy. So it'll show you what you could do with a bowl cozy if you made it out of a fabric on both sides had that iron-in batting. I did ask Donna what prosperity hens were. She said they hang on the door to bring wealth into your home. There's a video on YouTube called Pin Cut Sew. I'm sure others have made them also. That's fun. I wonder if they work or if they're just a cute idea. I don't know. I've never... we had chickens when I was growing up. Did anybody else here, grow up in a rural setting? And we didn't have a farm. That should be understood. We didn't plant things. We just had some chickens and some pigs for a couple of years. And I loved the pigs. They were fantastic. I cared for them. Pigs are extremely smart. I really love that a lot about them. And I understood from the very beginning that they were going to be dinner at some point, and I was perfectly fine with that as a child. I enjoyed them while they were with us, and then I enjoyed them when they were in us, so to speak. But the chickens were a whole nother story because I had to go out and gather eggs and feed the chickens. It may be hard to believe now, but I was a very slight child. I was a skinny little thing. I was always short. I'm still short. I'm 5'6", 5'6.5", depending on the shoes. And so I would have to go out with a big 5-gallon bucket of feed to these 50-something chickens. And there was nothing wrong with the hens. The hens Fantastic. Gotta love the hens. Not a single problem with the hens. But you know, the meanest animals on the entire planet are roosters. And I was like a 10-year-old child carrying a huge 5-gallon bucket that weighed as much as me. And I would open the coop because we had a big, my father's a welder, so everything was made out of metal. So the whole coop had metal framework with, the chicken wire stretched all around it. And I have to open the door and go in and hope that the rooster was on the other side of the pen. And I'd put the food out. And I mean, I got so good at doing this. I would time it to where I could shake the food out. This was after the first 2 or 3 times he attacked me. I figured out a plan. I would shake the food out, and just as he got near me, I'd have an empty bucket that I could swing and hit him and kick him all the way across to the other side of the chicken coop. And then he'd rear up and start coming at me again, as if I was going to do anything to his ladies. I just don't understand what he thought. So I made sure that when it was time to harvest those chickens, that the rooster was the first one we harvested. I was not a fan. I did love all the chickens after. I didn't miss the chickens because they smelled pretty bad. Like my mom definitely missed the eggs, but we put chickens in the freezer for years. I mean, at least a year or two, and we shared them with so many of our family and friends who came to help harvest them. So it was very interesting. Would never do that again. My chicken comes from Aldi. Let's see. Donna says my neighbors had hens. They adopted me. I loved them for a couple of years, and they started disappearing. Oh, the neighbors or the chickens? I'm assuming the chickens. Hope says I'm still afraid of birds because of roosters. Yeah. Hey, Share Bear, I'm working through a lot here. It is so mean that it was. I'm going to tell you one other thing that I tell people all the time, and I hope that no one will feel. You have to understand some of this is hyperbole, but I will tell that story about roosters, and then I explain that's why I eat almost exclusively chicken, because I am trying to eat every one of his offspring. I want to destroy him from the line of animals on the planet, because I really hated that rooster. He was so mean. Shaber, I think wanting chickens is great. If you just get an evil rooster, though, you have to be careful. Like, I'm sure and I guess you need a rooster so that the hens will want to lay more or whatever. I mean, there's an interesting argument going on in my community about chickens in the actual city limits. And I mean, when I say city limits, I don't live in a big metropolis. We live in a lovely, quiet Florida town, and people have their ideas of what Florida is like. And I will tell you, there's plenty of parts of Florida that are exactly like what you see on television. But the reality is, Florida is quite rural. We're one of the largest cattle producing states in the country. And we also have lots and lots of agriculture land. So I live in the center of the state. And I am a Floridian born and raised, but I don't sound like somebody who lives in the rural part of Florida, because people who live here their whole lives and were born here in the rural parts of Florida tend to have a bit of a Southern country accent, which people are always surprised. They're like, you're from Florida and you sound like you're from Georgia. Well, yeah, they kind of have a little bit of that. North Floridians have an interesting sound too, because they're right there on the coast of, they're right there below Alabama and Georgia, and they tend to have a lot of bleed over in terms of their sound. But I live in a very quiet community called Eustis. We're getting bigger. All of the big corporations have found us, and they're moving in as they move in big houses, housing developments, and other stuff. But I still live in a pretty quiet area. But we still have a city that has a downtown and communities and neighborhoods. So people have been petitioning for years to have chickens in the backyard. The problem is, chickens can smell after a while, and they make a lot of noise. Not just the standard hens, but roosters that people will have to encourage the hens to lay more eggs. Roosters make sound all the time. And it's a misnomer or a misconception to think that roosters only make noise at 5 o'clock in the morning. They sometimes crow at all times of day. And that's just kind of inappropriate or wrong. So the city has talked about, people say, well, we'll only have like 8 chickens. So how are you going to what are you gonna, everyone gets a permit and then somebody goes in the backyard and makes sure they only have 8 chickens. Like, it just becomes difficult. Either way, I think they just passed it on the city commission, like a test run. So we'll see what happens. Now, I live in a townhouse community, and the townhouse HOA is pretty clear about how many animals anyone can have. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to have chickens in our townhouse community. And no one in our townhouse community is trying to do full-fledged gardening at their house. So we should be in pretty good shape. So the holidays are coming up. I hope you have wonderful plans for the holidays, things that you're planning to do. I am going to be heading to my cousin's house for Thanksgiving. Brad and I will go there. My 92, almost 93-year-old grandmother hopefully will be there. She always insists on making a ham and a turkey and bringing them with her. And we're like, Grandma, your kids are in their 70s now. Like, they can start bringing some food too. Like, so we'll have a bunch of stuff there. I'm bringing a, is it called potatoes Romanoff, which is like let me just tell you, I'm going to bring this to you at some point. Like, I put food videos on this channel and they don't do that well. But it's usually I put those food videos so I can share them with friends of mine. So it happens. I'll probably put this one on my Patreon channel. So if you remember my Patreon, thank you so much. Number one, there are a few of you who are paid members. I really appreciate you. I am not been very good about making sure that you get all of the benefits that are listed on Patreon. So I need to start doing that. It is a little weird. There's only like 3 or 4 people to do those benefits for, but I will figure it out. Everyone else who's a free member, thank you so much. It does not matter. No one needs to pay for Patreon if they don't want to. There are some videos I know I can't put here because they'll just do terrible, like less than 1,000 people will watch them. And then what happens is YouTube says, oh, you have a boring channel that no one wants to watch, so we're going to stop giving your videos to as many people. So to make sure that you get to keep seeing my videos, I have to make sure the videos that I put here are as attractive to as much of my audience as possible. So I don't put some of the more, offbeat ones here, or the ones that I think aren't going to be as popular. And I have a video coming about going to Epic. Now, it's interesting. If you're from Florida, you might know Epic as a brand new theme park that Universal Studios started. Universal's Epic Universe, which is hard to say because it doesn't make sense to repeat words anyway, but it's not. Earlier this year, I went to Epic Intergalactic Headquarters, which is the main headquarters for a huge healthcare software company called Epic. And it's amazing. It's the kind of thing that huge hospital systems use. So if you've ever had to like access your chart through a hospital system, and it was called like Epic My Chart, well, that's this huge company that has like 20,000 employees in one location. And the campus is, the entire property is huge, hundreds of acres. And they have like 6 separate campuses that are all themed to different things. So you should check it out. There's a Harry Potter themed campus. There's a campus themed to like nursery rhymes and fairy tales. The Alice in Wonderland section is crazy. And I went and visited earlier this year, and I have video that I have to put together for it. It won't do well on this channel, so I'm going to put it on my Patreon so you can see it there. And a few more behind the scenes things will be over on Patreon. And you can also, if you ever want me to do a specific video or share something, it's kind of easy to do it over there. Well, that was the Christmas gift video, things that I'm working on for Christmas gifts or ideas that I had. I did go ahead and put into the description here all of the links to the videos of things I've made before that you could access. All of them are relatively simple to do. I'm going to tell you personalized. My favorite right now is probably the personalized toiletry bag DOP kit. I think that one's probably the best. And you can make a bunch of those in just a couple of hours. You could kick one out for everybody in the family. And you could even use these as your stockings. Like, give everyone their own DOP kit. Like, every grandchild gets one of these, and inside is all the stuff you would give them maybe in their stocking. So it's a fun idea. All right, folks, until next time, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay crafty. I'm off to watch some college football today. I hope you have something fun planned for your day too. Bye for now. All right. Yeah, hey, hit the like button too if you get a chance. Maybe subscribe. Bye.